Joe, it's clear that lawmakers feel that there's currently momentum behind these China-related issues. There's so much anti-China sentiment, particularly in relation to these bipartisan issues like human rights. It's pretty likely that this bill will go through, even with the amendments that will require it to go back to the Senate?
Yes, it does. You can see by the vote there on the screen that it's passing. It's on its way to passage overwhelmingly with support from both Democrats and Republicans. There are some minor differences with the Senate bill, but members of both parties in both the Senate and the House said that they're willing to work through those very quickly and get the entire package passed and sent to President Trump in the next several weeks, certainly before they leave town for the holidays here in the U.S. This is reflective of the anger, really, that has been bubbling up regarding China. Beyond just the trade disputes, the issue of human rights abuses in China has taken center stage. This is something that the Trump administration hasn't particularly emphasized and as at times appeared to be going along with reluctantly. But the sentiment in Congress is pretty clear that they want to send a message to China on a number of fronts, including the alleged human rights abuses against the Uighurs, the Muslim minority in China.
Given the bipartisan nature of this third bill on top of those two other bills concerning Hong Kong, how much pressure is there on President Trump to sign this into law, and what could be the impact on the ongoing trade negotiations?
Well, there'll be a lot of pressure for President Trump to sign that into law. With the Hong Kong measures, the White House had remained largely silent. Trump didn't say whether he was for it or against it, but then decided to go ahead and sign it before it just became law on its own. If he were to choose to veto it, this would certainly get overridden by the House and the Senate based on the vote tallies that the measure is getting. So that will certainly probably go into effect. Now, China has already indicated that it'll take some further retaliatory actions, possibly involving penalizing U.S. companies or penalizing other U.S. officials, perhaps not allowing some to go into the country. There may be some additional steps, but one thing it hasn't done so far is jumped or impinged on the trade talks, at least publicly, from China. President Donald Trump today, of course, was backpedaling a little bit from his earlier statements about wanting to get a deal done. Now he's saying that he is willing to put it off until after the election next November. Although negotiations are continuing on this so-called phase one part of the deal, which is a preliminary deal, and so it's unclear whether he's referring to that or some sort of larger accord with China.